want to be. Tell me if you want to follow me now, to follow me. Take me to your arms and never leave me. Don't leave me, boy. Tell me if you want to follow me now, to follow me. Take me to your arms and never leave me. Don't leave me, boy.
And look at Jochen Hahn and Antonio Albacete. The two of them go flying through the right-hand side, then the left-hand side. Jochen Hahn around the outside, and Lucas Hahn, no father and son, come together on the exit of turn one.
And the best thing about this is the fact that it's still a 15-minute sprint race. They've not extended the time of the race. It's still just like, it's going to be, what, 7 laps of Spa-Francorchamps?
Yeah. We get to the real nitty-gritty of motorsport. Cranston and Smith are side by side for the title in the very final race of the season. As they go back up the hill towards the Schumacher S. Nils Kor clips the back at 10. Simon Povey clips the side of Nils Kor. They go over the hill and Povey's around. Oh my god, that's going to definitely be the thumbnail, and it hit me in the right direction. Thank you so much.
23 cars.
Hello everybody, welcome to Chaz Draycott Media and welcome to round number 2 of the CDM Clio Cup. Welcome to an as live broadcast here on the channel. Obviously the races that you'll see tonight took place yesterday evening, but we are now here ready to go from Okayama International Circuit for the coverage that we should have had yesterday if I wasn't being so selfish and heading to a concert. My name's Chaz Draycott. I'm delighted to have in the commentary box with me tonight Francois Brandet, now known in the Discord as French Chaz apparently. But Francois, good to have you back in the box, mate. How are you feeling about the start of the season so far, and what do you make of things coming here?
Well, I'm really excited, but I do need to say I'm slightly disappointed. My name on the sheet is not French Chaz, but it is a bit of extra lore that our audience is not going to appreciate, I think, as they were not there during the briefing, which was a very French briefing, but yeah, I'm now French Chaz and I love it.
Absolutely, mate. Well, we're going to have a quick look at the calendar for this season, which we have coming our way. We have been pre-season testing at Manicourt. We are then have headed to Misano in Italy, and now we're here at Okayama in Japan before going back to the UK in Donington Park next week for some British weather. Certainly going to be spicy there. Are there any circuits that really take your fancy here, Francois, that you're excited to see these drivers blast around?
Yeah, Zolder, because well, first it's one of my favorite circuits, and we do know that the sausages around Zolder tend to make cars fly, and that's already something we've seen around Manicourt and Misano, you know, car bouncing up and down. So I'm excited to see what and how they behave around that famous Belgian curb.
Yeah, I think it would be pretty good to see a bit of airtime with these little Clios. This is how the championship looks then after the first race meeting. Dylan Da Costa taking 3 wins out of 3, with Ian Stitchbury in second place in all 3 races, Matt Hoyland in third. There were a number of penalties given out after the Misano round of the championship. We said there might have been some drivers having qualifying bans, some drivers, one driver indeed, basically banned for this next round of the season. Leo Aina had a number of incidents and unfortunately will not be taking part in tonight's festivities. But we do have a good number of drivers to look at tonight. However, one driver that we are missing, Francois, is championship leader Dylan Da Costa. He unfortunately has a shoulder injury and will not be taking part tonight or for the rest of the season. Big news.
Yeah, I think you are confusing me with Dylan because I got the shoulder injury while Dylan tore his whole
Oh, yeah,
back.
he did.
That's why he's gonna miss the whole series, sadly. Dylan, we got to chat a lot, and he was actually mowing his lawn when his back decided to retire early. He's actually getting a scan, I think, tomorrow, and we'll know if he needs to get surgery or not. A shame for him from, a sport standpoint, but we wish him nothing but a speedy recovery nonetheless.
Yeah, it's a big, big shame indeed, but Dylan, I'm sure, will be back on our screens before we know it, and we hope to have him back with us very, very soon. As you can see then, practice has now come to a close, but we have a number of drivers wanting to gain points now that they don't have Dylan on the grid to fight with. We're going to see exactly what these drivers have in store, and qualifying will now get underway. We'll see who the first drivers are that are heading out of the pit lane at the far end. A number of them heading out in a big, big stream. Interesting format now with open qualifying, meaning that they all head out on track together. Very intrigued to see everyone get those first lap times in. Alex Fretwell and his teammate James Pallett are quite an interesting talking point tonight. They have changed liveries again. They are now back to the 9PP racing team. I think it's 9... Oh, it's called 9 something Panthera, I'm pretty sure. But they are back to that squad for the rest of the season by the look of it. Got Jan Ostberg just in front of him there in the number 2 machine. Jan had a pretty busy race meeting back at Misano. There's a couple of drivers on track tonight that we didn't see back at round 1. James Holman, Real World Legends racer. He's going to be pretty quick tonight. He's going to be pretty quick all season, I think. Ashley Beard, he wasn't there for Spontex CDM Esports at round 1 either. And James Pallett was the other one, actually, in the 9PP racing machine. So a number of drivers to keep our eye on tonight, Francois. Should be pretty good.
Yeah, exactly. But we are also missing the likes of Matt Ireland tonight, and nonetheless, our Formula CDM champion Sam Fitzpatrick. I was kind of hoping that we would replace an alien for another, with Dylan being her, that Sam would fill his spot, but I think that's something we'll have to see next week.
Yeah.
With Dylan missing, I'm excited to see how things unfold, because during Manico and Misano, we saw a lot of action for P2 actually. P1 was locked from the start, but it was very tight for the remaining spots of the podium, so I'm excited to see how things are going to be now that Dylan is gone.
Yeah, I mean, we ride on board now with Ian Stitchbury, the Welsh driver. He finished second 3 times at Misano to start the season. He finds himself on 60 points to the 75 of Dylan Da Costa, and surely with a good enough night tonight, Ian Stitchbury can leave here as championship leader. But it's easy for us to sit here and say he's got to actually go out there and do it and deliver the lap times. So I'm intrigued to see exactly what he can do in terms of giving us that performance. We've got a number of drivers beginning their qualifying session now, and a few of them that we need to look at. I mean, Rob Sutherland, he's enjoying the action in the Clios, I believe. He races Clios in the real world as well, actually. I think he's got a track day special Clio that he races around. I'm intrigued to see if he's able to transfer any of that knowledge into this car here for this season, I guess, because we have seen it before, haven't we, that real world experience in race cars can translate into the sim and vice versa.
Yeah, I think iRacing runs not short of proofs of real life driver being absolute menace on track, and especially Clio's, which it's one in a it's a kind of unique car to say the least in
Yeah.
how it's behaving, how it needs to be handled to maximize the power output, stuff like that. And you might wonder as well if Rob wants to perform a little better or a little more than usual because Dylan, his teammate, is missing, as a tribute.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that the RD SimSport squad will definitely be missing Dylan, and it is a huge, huge shame. I know that a lot of the other drivers on the grid are also missing him as well because, I mean, he's a real character and very, very quick, very helpful to the other drivers as well, actually. Certainly did a lot to help drivers get quicker and quicker. It's Martin Shirley to the top in the other RD SimSport 2 car at the moment. He's just ahead of Sam Van Olst, Martin Kenyon, Jan Osberg, Alex Fretwell out there as well. So I'm intrigued to see if anybody really gets amongst it. Let's see if we can get the qualifying. Yes, we can get the qualifying graphics up, actually. Usually they don't work in the replay formats because obviously we're watching this from a replay file, which is why we've had to do it this way round. But usually they don't really work. Jan Stitchbury goes third fastest and only just behind Sam Van Olst. Sam, strangely for a car that brightly coloured, Francois, has been right under the radar, hasn't he? Really, he's been up there, but yeah, he's not been as flamboyant as we expected.
Yeah, and at the same time, he was among those fighting for P2, P3 last week, so he's definitely not something, or somebody rather, we should not forget in this new race for the top. Now that Dylan is gone, I'm excited to see also how the reverse grid works now. If I remember, Stitchbury, he actually posted one of the funniest gifs ever when he mentioned that he was used to follow Dylan through the pack for race 2, and now he will probably have to figure it out on his own. And with him, with Sam, with Matt, who's missing tonight, maybe Alex or other drivers that we sometimes see going for top positions, we might see a lot of fights going on in race 2.
Yeah, I think so. It's going to be interesting to see who makes their way through the order. Van Olst still second fastest. Alex Fretwell improves. Martin Shirley goes purple in the second sector and goes for a 144.3. So he goes even further in front now at the top. Ash Beard, welcome back to the sim. He's not quite up there. James Holman going quickly. The Northern Irishman, I'm sure, will be over the moon to, well, do that. Go fastest. It's an RD SimSport 1-2. Now, what we've got to figure out here is the fact that Holman is driving for RD SimSport, well, 1, effectively, and Martin Shirley, his teammate, is driving in a different team despite the liveries being the same. Rob Sutherland is his teammate, but all three of them are in the same livery. We might have to ask James to sort that out, or Rob will give him a slap on the wrist or something. But, yeah, interesting to see. We do have a number of drivers, actually, with a qualifying ban here for this evening. James Pallett isn't out on circuit right now, but Ben Gregory and James Underhill have got qualifying bans, and Jordan Butler has the same, if I remember rightly. It feels like forever ago since I gave those penalties out, but
you're right.
Yeah, it's those three, isn't it? Jordan Butler and Ben Gregory have a qualifying ban, and they must start race 2 in the pit lane. James Underhill just cannot go out in qualifying.
Yeah, sadly not something we would like to see for every round, but Misano was quite busy, not in the way we appreciate, so some penalties were indeed applied, and that's the result of it. One can only hope that the Misano round was more of a lesson than a PTSD-inducing memory.
Yeah, absolutely. We do hope that the drivers have learned from it and they behave themselves tonight. We've got Dan McCauley on screen right now. Dan was really happy to make the first round of the championship and to go pretty well. He had a good few races, nearly got a podium from Alex Fretwell in the third and final race of the night. Now he runs in 7th position in qualifying at this present moment. Interested to see how he gets on tonight. Martin Kenyon's going well at the moment, isn't he, Francois? Up there in 5th position, just 0.3 of a second off the top spot.
You wonder if he's using the Ian Stitchbury magic fingers, because the Aura lads seem to be quite quick tonight.
Yeah, very much. They are really flying.
We knew Stitch would be up there because well, realistically, he's always up there. But Martin, yes, he's a good driver, but he's not necessarily somebody we always see getting into these top 5, top 6 positions. So, of course, Dylan's missing, Matt is missing, but you still need to tame the beast in a way about the Clio and put in a lap. So that's a proper effort for Martin.
Well, I mean, look how close the times are as well. A 1:44.2 for James Holman, but the whole field up to Stuart Clark in 14th place is less than a second off. So it's a long lap, but there's still only a second separating 14 cars. We look here at Danny Weir. He's last at the moment out of drivers that are qualifying, but he's pushing hard, and he is the sole HW Racing driver here tonight. It's good to see Danny back on the grid, actually, because unfortunately for him, after the first race at Misano, he was really ill and couldn't complete the race evening. Dan McCauley's just improved a couple of sectors across the line. He goes up into 5th fastest now. Danny Weir will be next across the line, then Harry 7. I'm glad that those graphics are still working at the bottom, because I think they do look quite pretty, the way they fill up the graphic along the bottom. Jack Johns, well, he improved in the first sector, but he's been quiet since, and has now decided to come into the pit lane. The drivers will have to come all the way into the pit lane if they want to reset or anything. They're not allowed to just pull over at the side of the road and reset the car on the track. And I'm happy to say we do have James Pallett out there, car 13.
Oh, finally. Yeah, all right. Maybe he's just arrived late to the meeting, or he couldn't find the keys of the Clio.
Yeah, to be fair, if it's anything like Charlotte's Clio keys, it's really picky. As soon as you get about a foot away from the car, it's like, nah, nowhere near it. So
you don't have to actually like shove the key in. It's like a how is it called, a transponder or
basically. Yeah, right. It's very odd and it's very picky. Oh well.
My bike runs on that, and I never got bigger anxiety attacks that when my bike says I'm not nearby when I am.
Yeah, round the corner.
Yeah, there's not many ways to ride a bike, so I was a bit in a panic. Anyway, I'm a bit surprised at Rob Sutherland's lap, because do you think he actually missed a few laps, or is just slower?
I don't know. Rob's done 5.5 laps so far, but he's just not been able to improve in any of these middle sectors, so I'm hoping that he can show us the pace that he definitely does have underneath him. He is the team manager at RD Simsport, with a number of very, very potent drivers at his disposal, with a great squad and a lovely livery as well. All of their cars always look good in their livery. Although Martin Shirley, I did slate him for it. He's not got the spec map on, I don't think. The car doesn't look as matte as it usually does. He's got Harry 7 behind him, speaking of nice liveries. Spectra Racing Machine. His teammate Jordan Butler, as mentioned, is not going out in qualifying. Neither is James Underhill, neither is Ben Gregory. But we will see them out on track. 20 drivers again tonight as well, Francois. So a nice, hefty grid for us to enjoy.
Yeah, 20 with a few missing. So that's an even bigger grid when we'll finally get everybody on track. But yeah, I think the excitement for this new series is definitely showing, and that's great because, well, Misano was not that good of a memory for everybody, I think, but once everybody, settles down a bit, knows how the car behaves and stuff like that, I think we're going to have some proper fun, some proper racing to spectate.
Stuart Clark does a 1:59.6, does not improve on that lap time. Martin Shirley will try and get another lap in as well. Don't forget, as soon as that timer hits 0, the session is over. They do not get another chance to improve on the lap times that they're doing. It's not like the clock hits 0 and then they get to complete that lap. It is quite simply, they must crack on, and if they are finishing a lap basically, then they need to have finished it before it hits 0. As soon as it hits 0, they get kicked out and they don't get a chance to complete it. James Pallett, going a little bit deep into the left-hand hairpin there. It's a tricky circuit really in this car, isn't it, Francois? I mean, front-wheel drive, understeery little hatchback. You've got a lot of long radius corners here, haven't you? So you've got to be very, very careful about how you place the car and adjust on the throttle.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was watching the track map. It seems like everybody has found their own little pocket to drive in rather than try to hide in somebody's draft. Because, like you said, that track is quite tricky at different parts, different sectors. So I think it's a better, safer choice to go for a safer, more on your own situation and try to gain these 0.5 or even 1/10 faster at the risk of being, going off track or just being unsettled.
Yeah, very, very true. You've got to be in your own little space, not relying on any slipstream. Drew Fletcher saying, evening all, does the number 21 have a cat on the livery? That's Dan McCauley in the Series 1 racing machine, and no, he doesn't. And it was not a Take That concert, Lee. It was My Chemical Romance, and it was amazing. Good to see Ben Chalcraft in the chat as well. And, Rob Sutherland's in there saying he sold the car last year. The guy who bought it off me won his class at Spa in the Classic Sports Car Championship. Wow, fair play. Fair play. CSCC is really doing well at the moment by the look of it. I'm good friends with Jack and Mark Werrell, and they continually post about how well CSCC is doing and the wonderful community they have there. It certainly looks like an interesting place to be. Jack Johns just improves on his time, moves up into 8th position for the Gold Sus Racing team. Lee Berridge is improving on one sector, but not enough to go up a position by the look of it. Ashley Beard now to the line in the Spontex CDM Esports Clio. Car 995, Ash's first appearance of the season. He was with us for pre-season testing at Manicourt. No improvement for him there. 146.546. Looks like James Pallett is on for an improvement here, though.
Yeah, but I was watching because Sam Van Holst is in the pair, so he's not going to be improving. But we seem to be missing James Holman. I hope he's not disconnected from the session because he's nowhere to be seen, and I hope he's only decided to park the car and he's just sitting with a cold drink in the garage.
Yeah, I mean, James's internet in the past has been notably patchy in other series that I've commentated on him in, so hopefully that is definitely not the case. But seems like he is, he's done 4 laps and he's disappeared. Everybody now will disappear as the circuit goes clean, with the drivers having a complete 0 on the timing. And let's see what the score is then for the first race of the night. James Holman, pole position for the first time this season. That's how you make a debut. Ian Stitchbury alongside him. Then it's Martin Shirley going well in the RD Swim Sport 2 car. Then it's Sam Van Olst and Dan McCauley in the top 5. Jan Osberg 6th, ahead of Martin Kenyon. And Jack Johns up into 8th position. John Breitenbach is 9th, with Alex Fretwell completing the top 10. He's ahead of Lee Berridge and Harry Seven, who is next up. Ashley Beard will start in 13th place alongside Stuart Clark. Then it's Rob Sutherland and Danny Weir next up. James Pallett and Jordan Butler are on row 9. Then it's Ben Gregory and James Underhill completes the 20-car field. Now, as we look here, Francois, I think you're right. I think Holman must have disconnected.
No, I'm trying to pay attention to that because he still has a few thousands of seconds to connect, but I'm afraid he's gone. And yeah, I reckon you don't get points from pole position even if you leave before the actual race starts. But it's a shame because you get pole. It's a shame wherever you finish. I think it's always a shame, but yeah, you got pole and you get yonked out of the session. I don't think that's quite good.
No, a big shame for James and his internet. That is a massive shame. The pole sitter, the driver that went fastest in quali, will not be taking to the grid. A flash of the lights there from Sam Van Olst. You can hear the audience sort of flickering in the background as we all wait. It will be the full 2 minutes here, won't it? Because there's a car missing still.
Yeah, I think because it's gone. Do you reckon he got pole and just left to send a message?
Yeah, absolutely. Just sending one big message. Here we go then. First race of the night in the CDM Clio Cup from Okayama is underway. Interesting start in the background for Ben Gregory. Ian Stitchbury goes all the way over to the left-hand side as he now starts from pole position. Martin Shirley goes to defend from Sam Van Olst. Dan McCauley tries to go around the outside as well. Jan Osberg in there. Jack Johns made a good start getting ahead of Martin Kenyon. He's launched it away off the line. Harry Seven in the middle there, side by side with Lee Berridge. He's got Ashley Beard just behind him. James Underhill making 2 positions from the start there, side by side. Jack Johns and Martin Kenyon as they go up through the right-hander then. Nice, easy and smooth start for everyone so far, Francois. Nice and safe.
Yeah, I won't say I did not clench a bit because by the time we reached, I think, turn 4 around Misano, I think we lost about 3 or 4 cars already. But everybody
Yeah.
seems to be well behaved tonight. A lot of close racing, a few oopsies here and there, but so far everything seems to be good. But I'm quite stressed out about the hairpin.
Yeah, Lee Berridge, and Alex Fretwell and John Breitenbach all getting a bit friendly with each other there on the way in. Berridge backs out of it on the exit. Breitenbach gets side by side with Fretwell, now back down the inside once again. Great racing between these guys. They're all so close together. Harry 7 in there, then Ash Beard, then Stuart Clark. 6 of them right with one another in the opening moments here. But what a start that was for Jayen Stitchbury, and he's going to hope that the 2 drivers behind him, Martin Shirley and Sam Van Olst, continue to fight like this, because that will mean that Jayen can just break away, get rid of that slipstream, and be long gone.
Yeah, I mean, who else than Stitch for grabbing that first spot? Now that it was basically free real estate. Let's hope for a clean race and some packed action behind it, but I think Stitch is going to try to break the little toe he gets, and that's what he's trying to do on the main straight, going into the second lap of the race. Quite tight behind him, so let's hope they're going to fight so he can escape.
Sam Van Olst down the inside of Martin Shirley, then finds himself on the outside. Martin can't quite get the cutback on him, and Van Olst now goes up into second place. Good stuff by the Belgian. Jan Osberg, Swedish driver, all over the back of Dan McCauley as well. He's got company in the form of Jack Johns, and then look at this. John Breitenbach still with a number of drivers all behind him. Stuart Clark is having the same in the background. Ben Gregory has had a great first lap here, gaining a number of positions in the opening exchange. Speaking of exchange, positions are being exchanged here. We have to be really on it tonight because we cannot access replays of any incidents and then go back live. Because this is a replay that we're basing this on, if I click live, it just basically fully fast forwards to the end. So we have to behave ourselves and make sure that we try and catch as much of the action as possible. Berridge looking in the middle of Fretwell and Breitenbach, really close together. Looks like after a week, everybody's got the braking down and they have managed to sort it out. This is great fighting between these two, though. Look at this. Lee Berridge gets to watch this from a front row seat. Tries to fit the car down the inside.
I don't remember seeing any lockup smoke, so I think yeah, they all got how the car behaves a bit better.
Ooh, nearly a kiss there on the back of John Breitenbach. Harry 7 sees that as an opportunity, but now as the circuit goes the other way, Ashley Beard wants a piece of this as well. Maybe a bit of contact further back as Stuart Clark comes under attack from Ben Gregory. You got Rob Sutherland in there, James Underhill just off the back of this train, James Pallett, and then James Holman is up. Jordan Butler nearly into the back of Danny Weir. He's going to lose a place or two as a result. 2 laps in the books though, and it's Dan McCauley with the fastest lap of the race in 4th position. Jayen Stitchbury leading the way right now. Good stuff.
Yeah, and with James Pallett in 19th spot, he's the only driver who's a bit behind the whole pack. I wonder if he managed to find a solution with his clutch, because he was driving with an inverted clutch around I think it was Manicourt. So
yeah, he was.
Managed to fix his hardware.
Yeah,
yeah, I think everybody's finding his room, finding the people to fight with, and so far nobody's been murdered, so that's something you can really rejoice about.
Just saw a bit of a move there by James Underhill down the inside of Jordan Butler. So many fights to look at though. Harry 7 there side by side with Ashley Beard as they head down the back straight towards the hairpin. Ben Gregory, what on earth is that for Ben Gregory? He's gone hard right into the wall. That was weird. I don't know if that was some sort of hardware issue or something for Ben, but the car just went straight. And unfortunately for him, that straight isn't straight down there, actually. It's slightly curved. Jack Johns was a little bit boisterous in his move past Martin Shirley, but it didn't look like he... Sorry, not Martin Shirley, it was Jan Osberg. Didn't look like he left all the room down the inside, but obviously that's for the stewards to review afterwards. I'm intrigued by this race up at the front at the moment, because Sam Van Olst clearly holding second position with a good amount of pace behind him. Martin Shirley's been quick all night, but Dan McCauley right in the mixture here to try and take this place away from him.
Yeah, and I just checked because I'm in the replay as well for those who are watching who are wondering how we do things. So I went back in time, and I think Ben must have had an hardware issue because his steering wheel just locked straight, and then he went back to quote unquote life. So I think he must have had a little disconnection without the deadly turn left angle.
Oh, he's actually
usually
just
get.
he's just said in the YouTube chat as well. He said his screen went black mid-straight. That's where he thinks his foot caught a HDMI cable or something, which is definitely going to do that. Certainly is scary.
Looks like your wheel pulled the plug on you. Badoomts.
Oh, contact! Oh. Ashley Beard shoveled out of the way by Stuart Clark at the hairpin. Oh, big save. All you've got to do in these Clios is just floor it, basically. But yeah, the Spontex CDM eSports car knocked out of the way there by Harry 7. I was just trying to get my eyes on this fight because Jan Osberg has been having a scrap with just about everyone so far this race. He has unfortunately dropped a place from where he started, even including having James Holman lose the places from not connecting. And he is now having to keep an eye on the cars behind him, which is John Breitenbach, Alex Fretwell and Lee Berridge, drivers that have all proven themselves in one car or another.
Yeah, and I think it's also a battle for who has the best livery, to be honest. Breitenbach, I think, always had one of the best liveries in whatever grid he was a part of.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's something. I snapped a few pictures for the first round, because for those who don't know, I also do a few cinematography on the side. And yeah, as a spectator, you can only appreciate when all the cars look very good.
Absolutely, we do have a very pretty grid here in the CDM Clio Cup, except for that thing of Dan McCauley. He did say that there was going to be a Series 1 racing livery, and he needs to sort that out, but he knows that I'm only joking. Good to see Jack Johns in the chat, and he says the Safa livery goes hard. Don't know which one he means for that, but either way, there's a move here by Martin Shirley. Shirley down the inside, having a look on the back of Sam Van Olst. Not quite making it work this time round. There's more of a scrap back here behind Jan Osberg. He just seems to be, I hate the phrase cork in a bottle, but he seems to be that at the moment, doesn't he? Just everyone's sort of queuing up to try and get past him.
Yeah, and I'm not going to say a lot more because I have no clue what cork in a bottle means.
Basically, he's the bottleneck, so everybody sort of like, you know, as if you shook a sort of bottle of champagne, he's the cork, and well, Breitenbach's just popped the cork off. And yeah, Jack is absolutely right. It's the South African livery. I do love it. Does look very good. Well, it looks good running off the circuit as well as he loses more and more ground to Lee Berridge. Berridge makes it down the inside, tries not to run too wide so there's not contact on the exit, gives him space, moves over to the left. Look at that in the background. You can see Rob Sutherland having a good go at Danny Weir as well. These guys get it all tidied up into the hairpin. God, they're so close together. That's why we love Clio racing, isn't it? They can do this time and time again. Up the front, there's a move. Dan McCauley trying it on Martin Shirley now.
Yeah, that's proper racing. And about the bottle corking thing, I think since you don't get a lot of draft, I think the only way really to pass drivers is to like just be better on the brakes, or when you get close enough, try to go for a move. But we've seen before that dive bombs are not the way to go. So maybe as the evening goes on, we'll maybe see drivers lose their temper a little bit, trying to pass drivers without finding where to do so. Hopefully it does not reach the level of incidents we had around Misano, but I'm very curious to see how they try to work out passing certain drivers.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
the draft does not do anything. It's a very tidy track, very technical as well. So let's see how it unfolds.
Yeah, it's a big shame that the slipstreaming here on iRacing is nothing like the Clio in real life. Right now, Harry 7 would be doing 400 miles an hour in the slipstream behind John Breitenbach. He would be breaking the sound barrier nearly as he got to the hairpin, because the Clio slipstream is absolutely insane in real life. It's its main selling point really when it comes to motor racing. It's such a fun car to watch in the real world, which is why I wanted to put this together and have this championship with these wonderful people on the grid. I do love that livery as well, the 9PP racing machine of Alex Fretwell. James Pallett running in the same colour scheme. Ben Gregory had been in the pits, but he's come back out on track, so he must have just been checking what that hardware issue was. But Martin Kenyon, he's having a bit of a quiet race. He's sat behind Jack Johns at the moment, who is also having a quiet race, but 5th and 6th for them right now. Some good points to go on the board if they complete it like this.
Yeah, that's a good I can't speak for a minute. That's a good race for them both at the minute. But I think they're having a quiet race. I think after the rounds they had around Misano, I think they should be quiet for a couple of rounds.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah.
No, just joking, guys. But yeah, Martin usually sadly involved in a few things. But the good thing about our grid is that we know none of the drivers are just malicious or ill-intended. It's always down to just being not as confident in the car as one would be after driving for a long time in it. So, like we said, a few penalties, but they're good guys. Jack Jones, he had a pretty rough evening the last time around Misano, so it's always good to see the drivers climb their way back through the standings after a pretty miserable evening.
Yeah, it is good to see Jack going well, because he is fast. He's very, very fast, is Jack, and I know that he's got the pace to do well in this car. He's always good in touring cars. He's one of the fastest on iRacing in the VW Jetta TDI as well, and ran a Jetta TDI Cup for a long time in the racing line. It's always good fun to watch. A fantastic group of guys there, and one of them is Sam Van Olst, his teammate for this series. Ash Beard and Rob Sutherland are having a bit of a ding-dong further back here. It looks like Rob's lost a bit of ground to Danny Weir. Side by side they go, and then Ash just has to slot in behind him. Nothing doing this time round. Tries to make the move back down the inside, but no, nothing doing again. Stitchbury's lost a bit of time here to Van Olst on that previous lap, you know. Van Olst was 0.2 of a second quicker, so too was Martin Shirley, and so too was Dan McCauley. So these guys are definitely not disappearing anytime soon. Dan was the quickest out of all of them, in fact, doing a 1:44.7, and again they're all closing on Stitchbury, so the iron isn't completely out of the woods yet here. We've got Jan Osberg still keeping an eye on Fretwell, Berridge and Breitenbach, and even Harry Seven in his rearview mirror. And now
you wonder if the drivers behind Stitch had find a way to work together, trying to catch up on Stitch rather than trying to fight for P2, P3, as there's still a lot of time remaining in that session.
There is indeed, yeah. 7 minutes of the race left to go, but with how long a lap is around Okayama, it's going to feel like there's just one lap to go for these guys. Very funny from Simon Price asking if Dara's got a cold, because his accent has changed a lot, and it absolutely has. But it's a delight to have you back in the commentary box again with me for this one, Francois. Thank you very much for jumping back in. But we need to keep an eye on this scrap, don't we?
I'm quite excited about how my character development goes, because I went from discount Dara to French Chaz, so I'm excited to see what the future holds for me.
Yeah, French Chaz in the box, everybody. This gap is definitely going down at the front. I think Van Olst is sort of dragging Shirley and McCauley with him, but we don't need that from Martin. If Martin wants to get back up there at the front, he doesn't need to send fake dummies on Sam like that. He doesn't need to start disturbing him and messing with his rhythm. Just let him go. Let him catch up to the race leader. Otherwise, you're going to lose him again if you try fighting too hard. Martin needs to just think about the bigger picture here, doesn't he, with 6 minutes to go.
Yeah, exactly, and maybe they've not found a way to what do this. Like I said like a few minutes ago, maybe Martin still wants to go for a thing, and if he feels he's faster, maybe he's going to try to go for a move on Sam, and maybe try to catch up on Jan and Stitchbury, but you don't really know what's in the driver's head until you see explicit moves. But is he just trying to show he's around? Is he trying to send a message to Sam like, let me pass, I can't catch him? You don't really know.
No, you never know. Never know what's going on here as well. Jordan Butler has caught back up with Ashley Beard and Rob Sutherland in this little scrap. These guys are actually fighting for what will be reverse grid pole position, which is why I keep looking at it. Top 15 get reversed into race 2. So whoever finishes in the middle of this trio will not only get one championship point for their trouble, but also be on reverse grid pole position. Rob Sutherland, if I remember rightly, started near the front of the grid back at Misano in one of the races. And his teammate...
I'm also impressed by Jordan Butler. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, you're
Jordan
all good.
Started. He didn't qualify Jordan as a penalty, and he's fighting for points actually now. So impressive drive.
Yeah, he's gained a couple of positions off the start. Ben Gregory having his issue. James Pallett dropped away a little bit from the cars ahead. Dearie me, there's Ash Beard locking up on the brakes, and straight on he goes, and he hands Jordan Butler that reverse grid pole position. Jordan could just sit there now for the rest of the race and, well, get that one championship point and be pretty happy to go from there. Jordan does actually, in fact, have just one championship point coming into this meeting, so he's actually going to double his tally, which is always a good way of putting it. But right now, look at Van Olst.
I just received a very funny message. I'm not going to say from who, but somebody just said that I'm faking watching the race live effectively. For those who don't know, the replay Chaz is watching is actually mine, because I was in the session when the race was going on, but I need to tell everybody watching that I actually did not see any action because I was actually in the blim cam making sure nobody was behaving like an idiot, basically. So every fight, every battle, every move we are actually witnessing right now, these are new to me.
Absolutely. We are spoiler-free, non-biased, and we want to make sure we cover the action as best we can. Dara is that determined to cover the action so actively. He's disappeared off to Norwich for the day. So he's decided that he really doesn't want any spoilers. He doesn't even want to watch it. Fantastic joke there by Simon Price in the YouTube chat. A close shave for Beard. Very, very good. Thank you very much, Simon. We needed that. Dan McCauley moving to the inside of Martin Shirley now. It's he sending a message to the drivers in front now, because we're only going to have 2 laps left to go here. I've done it, Francois.
Let's go. No, you can call me whatever. I'll still know you're talking about me. But yeah, Dan, you almost got a podium on his first round around Misano, so you reckon he's not going to settle for 4th position finish again?
No, absolutely not. I mean, his best result of the season is 4th. He was about a bonnet's length away from beating Alex Fretwell to the line in race number 3 back at Misano. But he's had 2 6th places and a 4th so far, has Dan. He did only just make it into this round. He was getting back home late, which is why he didn't think he was going to make this one. But he did make it, and I'm sure he'll be very happy to be up there fighting for these positions. But look at these 3 now, absolutely together. 2 laps to go here, and Yain Stitchbury has now opened up that gap again. Let's see what times they set. 1:45.0 for Stitchbury, but he's faster than all the guys behind him. That is important for him right now.
Yeah, I think they're doing what Stitch wants, actually. You know, they try to look like they're going for moves or not. You know, half try to put your nose in, or just not go for a move the proper way, because that's what unsettles you. So if the leader goes away while you try to defend against a move that never comes, that's always a bit uneasy. But I'm more curious about how Dan will watch all of this, because he's seen the moves that Martin has pulled on Sam, even if he's not gone for it. Do you reckon he's just sitting behind, trying to wait for an occasion to pass the 2 of them, or just wait for the eventual crash between the 2 of them?
I'm not sure if there will be an eventual crash between those 2. I think they're both good enough to behave themselves, but I think that they just need to try not to fight too hard. I think Martin is in the difficult situation here, because he would love to get in front of Sam, of course. He would love to take that place, but he's now in the position where if he gets anything wrong or tries a different line, he has to defend from Dan. That is Sam Van Olst running wide out of the left-hander. I wonder whether that'll give him a slowdown penalty. An unfortunate sort of byproduct of us running this from a replay file means that we don't get to see meatball flags and slowdown penalties live on the left-hand side, which Ben Gregory, thank you for confirming earlier that he had a meatball flag, which meant he had to go in the pits. It wasn't just him voluntarily pitting to check for hardware issues or anything like that. He simply had to get the car fixed. But at the front, Yain Stitchbury leads the way for the Aura Motorsports team, and with just 1 lap to go here, Francois, it looks like he could take his first victory of the season.
Yeah, last lap, so I'm waving my own national flag now before everybody makes the jokes. I do it. And Sam runs wide. Will Martin go for a move there? Not slightly too tight yet, but they're getting closer. Ryan is going away, but they are definitely getting closer. Who's going to fight? Who's going to get on the podium? And who's going to be left out in that cruel 4th position finish?
Well, Dan McCauley goes one way, then the other, trying it on the back of Shirley's car. But he knows that if he gives it a send down here, he can wave bye-bye to 2nd position as well. Looks like there's a battle going on further down here as well, actually. Rob Sutherland, Danny Weir and Jordan Butler fighting over the last point-scoring places. Jordan decides to completely take to the grass and then all the way over to the left. Needs to be careful with that, moving around like that. And he's actually locked up. Somehow manages to find himself down the inside of Butler. We need to look at this, though, because McCauley tries it to the outside here. Francois tries the cutback. Oh, that's not going to work.
That's so tight. You see he's trying his best, though.
Absolutely is. Shirley just sitting in the middle, and now they've lost a bit of ground to Sam van Alst, and he too isn't close enough to make a difference on Jan Stitchbury. There goes Dan McCauley to the left. Shirley is going hard defensive now. They know that this is just for the last podium spot. They cannot get second position, barring a big mistake by the Belgian in front of them, Sam van Alst. That's going to be it between those two, I'm sure. Shirley should hold the position right to the end. Nearly a kiss as they head into the penultimate corner and into the final corner. It's going to be even closer as well. Oh, he tried it, but it's not going to work for Dan McCauley. Round the final corner and across the line to take his first victory in the CDM Clio Cup. Jan Stitchbury takes the win with Sam van Alst second, Martin Shirley third, Dan McCauley fourth. I think he got a slowdown. Then it was Jack Johns ahead of Martin Kenyon, Jan Osberg, Alex Fretwell, Lee Berridge, Jean Breitenbach, and Harry Seven just missing out. What about the final point scoring positions? Oh, it looks like actually Rob Sutherland has lost a few places here. Not sure if he's had contact or anything, but that means that Ash Beard is going to go on to reverse grid pole position and score that final championship point from that race. Rob Sutherland surely having a drama at the end there, Francois. That is a big, big shame.
Yeah, that is a shame because they were fighting to the last bits of track. I think he maybe had at the moment an off track or maybe a slowdown. That's a shame of the replays, like you said. We can't see it, so we can only assume certain things happen. But knowing Rob, probably just a little incident. But yeah, that's very cool first race where everybody fought for its position down to the very last turn. Shame for Dan. He's again on the 4th spot, but now let's see how the reverse grid works.
Absolutely. We will go straight into race number 2. This is the brutal part of these race nights here in the CDM Clio Cup. We go straight from race 1, straight into race 2. Ashley Beard starts on pole position. Jordan Butler will start alongside him. Then it's Danny Weir and Stuart Clark on row 2. Harry Seven and John Breitenbach next up, with Lee Berridge and Alex Fretwell on the 4th row. Then it's Jan Osberg alongside Martin Kenyon. Then we have Jack Johns and Dan McCauley on row 6. Martin Shirley 13th. 14th is Sam van Alst. 15th Jan Stitchbury. Rob Sutherland in 16th place. 17th James Underhill ahead of Ben Gregory. Then James Pallett and James Holman on the back row of the grid. Rob confirming there that he just locked it up on the brakes. And easily done in this car, isn't it, Francois? I mean, how many times have we seen people do that?
Yeah, easily done. And like Dylan said before, he had to retire for a championship. You like in any car, you don't want to lock your tires, but in these, you are just cooking yourself the wrong way when you are doing that. So let's hope these drivers that do not lock too much, because it's like doomsday for their tires if they do so.
Here we go then. Second race of the night gets underway. Don't forget, Jordan Butler has a pit lane start for race 2, so he will start after the field has gotten going, which means Ash Beard gets a clear run down towards turn number 1. Lee Berridge is very much in the middle there, having to get on the brakes hard as Jean Breitenbach goes down the inside. But it's Beard leading Weir right now, and 3 wide in the middle by the look of it. Sam van Alst with down the inside going Martin Shirley. He tries the move on Dan McCauley as well. Nice feisty stuff from those guys through the first couple of corners. It looks like it's all very friendly in the mid-pack once again. John Breitenbach, Alex Fretwell, Lee Berridge. These guys spent all of race 1 scrapping together. What about further down? Is everyone behaving? No big lockups or anything. Ashley Beard leads the race for Spontex CDM Esports, and Harry Seven is up into 4th place, trying to chase down Stuart Clark. Good start.
Yeah, I was trying to keep my eyes as open as possible, because I think race 2, you know, these evenings they have 3 races. I think race 2 is probably the most dangerous out of the 3, because it's a reverse grid, plus the track temp is a bit higher, so you just hope the drivers don't get too comfy in the cold temp, so they don't get surprised when they realize the grip is not the same. So maybe you're around drivers you're not used to, and you go for moves, they don't work because the track has changed a bit. You don't want to see unnecessary moves, and I'm maybe afraid we might see some of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching this gawping with my mouth wide open, just holding my breath open, that there's no incidents. But look at this lovely shot of the field heading 2 by 2 up the hill. Jan Osberg just cuts the nose off Jan Stitchbury there. He goes down the inside of Dan McCauley. Jack Johns has made a great first lap here. 3 places gained for him so far, 4 places gained for Sam van Alst. So the Gold Sus Racing team both really doing a good job. Great stuff. And yeah, as Simon Price has said in the YouTube chat, great to see everyone's chilled out a little bit since last week. Ash Beard back into sim racing after a couple of years away, leading the way here in the CDM Clio Cup. Sure, it was because of reverse grid, but he's held on to it for that first lap, and now the battles will begin. Drivers have survived that first lap, no incidents, really good to see. And now the racing will begin. Race 1 winner Jan Stichbury already up to 12th as off in the background goes Underhill.
Yeah, and Ashley Beard still first, Danny Weir still second, Stuart Clark still third. So far the leaders have had it the nicest way possible, but let's see how our usual suspects, the faster guys, climb their way through the pack. I'm looking at Sam, I'm looking at Martin, I'm looking at Jan, and see how this unfolds.
Alex Fretwell looking down the inside of John Breitenbach there on the brakes, tries to send it in. Breitenbach says none of that, thank you. Oh, nearly contact between Fretwell and Clark. Stuart Clark just got away with that, and Alex Fretwell just got away from what I'm sure would be a penalty if there was contact. Kenyon and Van Aert leaning on each other in two of the prettiest cars on the grid, the Aura Motorsports machine and the Goldsus car, banging wing mirrors as they head around the left-hander. Nothing doing this time round as Breitenbach goes back down the inside of Fretwell. God, the battles are really kicking off already here, Francois. This is great to watch.
Yeah, I hope Alex is not going to do anything silly going into the airpin, because I don't think he's had fond memories of his last visit to Montreal in the Formula CDM when he actually played bowling with his rivals. But
he did.
Let's hope he does not do the same thing tonight. But Alex is a quick learner, so hopefully lesson learned.
Danny Weir is becoming that proverbial cork in the bottle that I mentioned earlier on. Harry Seven has now moved up into third place, and now Murby goes into second, past Danny Weir down the inside. Makes it move, and let's see if he can go all the way around. No spoilers, please, Rob. Come on, we don't want any of that. That's the point. Chill out, love. We've got now Harry Seven around the outside as again Breitenbach and Fretwell. These two need to get a room here. Stuart Clark looks back down the inside of Danny Weir. Don't know if he knows anyone called Harry Weir or what. There's a bit of contact there between Jack Johnson and Lee Berridge. Good God, this is pretty scary, this lot, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm surprised nobody has died just yet, considering how tight the field is.
Oh, Danny Weir and Stuart Clark making door-to-door contact down the straight. That's completely unnecessary, boys. We don't want to see that. It's not quite a straight, though, as I've said. It does curve slightly to the left. As in the background, there's a bit of a mover. Sam Van Alst is going in hot. Sam Van Alst.
Oh, somebody's off.
Yeah, Sam got a little kiss there from Jan Stichbury, I think, which sent him through into the hairpin. I saw a little bit of a wiggle, and then that was that. And through he goes. And now this battle continues. But look at that. Ashley Beard and Harry Seven, they're away at the front of the order now, these pair.
Yeah, you know, it's not saying that the guys who get pole on the second race do not deserve to be there, but you usually see them getting caught up on like quite quickly, but that's not the case. Actually, he's actually gaining a bigger gap.
This is fantastic racing, though. Look at this lot. All absolutely glued to each other. Fretwell's been side by side with about 4 different cars in about 4 different corners. It's been absolutely nuts. You've got the 2 Aura Motorsports cars at the back. Berridge and Fretwell getting very friendly there. Fretwell continuing to come over to the right-hand side. You don't want to see that. He's just giving him a bit of a kiss of the wing mirror. You've got Stuart Clark moving around behind Danny Weir. How's this going to go into turn 1? Let's see. A little bit of wheel-to-wheel there. Hold your breath.
Okay. Okay. I just imagine Harry and Ashley being like chased by a group of groupies. That's quite funny.
Yeah, everybody's just watching and watching and watching. And, well, it's kicking off. Dan McCauley with an opportunistic move down the inside of Martin Kenyon. He and Jan Osberger 3 wide as they go to the right-hander. Dearie me. Good stuff by Martin to give the extra room. Bit of a shovel on the way into the hairpin, and somehow Dan is the one that makes it work. He's got Martin Shirley and Rob Sutherland watching for company a bit further back there. Wow. Very feisty stuff. Berridge again side by side. Stuart Clark again side by side. Flipping heck. This is really, really good stuff to watch, but surely it's going to come to a head.
Every time the camera switches to that angle, I'm ridden with anxiety.
It's pretty scary. You can see all the gravel there from when Sam Van Alst went off the circuit. Like I say, he just got a bit of a kiss from Jan Stichbury going into there by the look of it. Sam's now trying to make his way back through the order, trying to go the long way around Rob Sutherland. That's not going to work, Sam. Rob's going to hold that line, gives him plenty of room. Tries not to rub the gold off. Whoa, what on earth is that about? What on earth was that, Martin? Well, we can't look at a replay, but Martin, seemingly out of shape, was wiggling the car one way then the other, and then it just went around. I don't know if he had damage or something.
Oh yeah, I think that's well. I'm just gonna spoil it for you because I was actually there and he mentioned the post race. He had disconnection in his wheel, and his wheel went just slightly to the left, slightly to the right, as if he were driving with a keyboard. So
Right.
It was wobbling around, and so he lost control out of it.
That is a big shame. It's Danny Weir blinking in and out. Little bit of contact there with Lee Berridge. And now Alex Fretwell wants a piece of this action as well. He wants to get through now, racing again for the 9PP Racing Squad. Look at all those cars behind them, though. This is the battle for third place, the final podium spot. Harry Seven is 3.6 seconds clear of these lot, and then Ash Beard is another 1.3 seconds clear of that. But this is the majority of the field. This is down to 13th position here, where these guys are. Nobody in this group is more than a second apart. It's absolutely fantastic racing. This is exactly why we wanted to do CDM Clio Cup. But I just wonder if anybody gets to the front of this, Francois, how quickly are they going to fly up to the leaders?
Yeah, I have no clue. But the gap between Ashley and Harry seem to have reduced a bit, or get slightly thinner. So
Yeah.
you don't know if Ash at the moment, or if Harry's just that good. But I think now they're enjoying the fact that the whole pack that is chasing them, they are still fighting each other. But I'm clenched so hard. You reckon? I think once one of the faster guys.
Oh no! Oh, dearie me, big accident.
God.
Danny Weir and Jack Johns across the inside of the circuit. Oh, goodness me. How they didn't make further contact. Then, James Underhill into the back of Danny Weir. There was initial contact between Jack and Danny on the exit of the corner, and then just as they wobbled one way, then the other, they ended up back into the wall. That was a big shame. Danny Weir was going so well at the front of the pack. And now, all of a sudden, it's been blown apart, and Fretwell is 4th. Yain Stitchbury is up into 5th place from 15th on the grid. And, well, there'll be a look back at that, I'm sure. We've got the fight on here with Jan Osberg, Stuart Clark, Dan McCauley. I tell you what, we're very lucky that that wasn't a bigger incident, aren't we?
Yeah, you wonder how it all came to that, but, they've been so close to each other since the race started. This was basically due to happen, even if we don't want to see that.
Yeah, it was almost inevitable. Flying formation here with the RD Simsport 2 squad. And Martin Shirley just on the left-hand side of shot. Rob Sutherland on the right. Dan McCauley just in front of the two of them. And in the background you can see Jordan Butler having a fight with Ben Gregory there as they head down towards the hairpin. Jack Johns trying to recover now after that incident as well. He is still in the points in 15th place, but I think the key thing to remember here is no reverse grid for race number 3. It's Ash Beard, Harry Seven and Lee Berridge, the top 3 at the moment, from Alex Fretwell, and then Yain Stitchbury. What's happening here in the background? Sam Van Holsten, Martin Shirley. I don't know where to look, Francois. I can't stop clicking.
I think we need to look everywhere. We can't do that physically because I only have 3 eyes and they don't work the proper way. But yeah, I think that's what we did the Clio series, to be honest, is to get action all over the track, up in the grid, down in the grid, everywhere basically. But I think the drivers, they used the first 2 rounds, or the preseason and the first round rather, to get a taste of how the car is and how the racing was about to be, and I think now they found their footing, and we're getting tonight what we always aimed for with that series.
Yeah, absolutely. Battles galore all over the place. Sure, there will be incidents. It's tin top racing at the end of the day. People seem to think, oh, these cars can survive contact, so let's just let it happen. But either way, the racing is very much lively. It's Ash Beard currently. Well, he's losing a lot of time to Harry Seven, who's forced to swipe across the back of the Spontex CDM Esports car. And suddenly the Spectra Racing Machine has the opportunity at the race lead here. Harry currently coming into this round of the championship with 16 championship points, running in 11th, trying to go for his first win, to become only the second driver other than Dylan Da Costa to win a race this season. After Dylan took a clean sweep back at Manicourt. We've got Lee Berridge under attack from Alex Fretwell as well, just in the background. Lee's going to try and hopefully hold that position, but we've still got 8 minutes left here, Francois. We've only just ticked over into the second half of the race.
Yeah, I was about to say, we still have 8 minutes, so it's barely less than half the race remaining, and we've seen so much action already. I think Ashley and Harry, they are going at it. The more they're going to fight, the more they're gonna lose to the pack behind them. So maybe Harry needs to settle down a bit and push Ashley a bit, you know, work as a team, work as a pair, trying to get away. But I think that time is gone now. I think Harry has shown his teeth, and I think he wants to go for the top position right now.
Right now, it's Dan McCauley getting ahead of Jan Osberg as well. He's just gone down the inside and through he goes. Lee Berridge flashing the lights, hoping to put these guys off at the front. Looks like it might have worked as Ash Beard goes deep into there. Harry's slow on the inside as well. He really backs out of it to make sure he doesn't understeer into him. This pairing is really losing time, hand over fist, to Lee Berridge, because they were 0.8 of a second slower than him and Alex Fretwell on that previous lap. And just to add insult to injury, Ian Stitchbury has just done the fastest lap of the race. These guys all want to be up there as well, but I think it's anyone in the top 5 at the moment that could win this race. Dan McCauley doing everything in his power to try and get past John Breitenbach. Oh, a lovely switch back up the inside, Francois.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. The way he handled traffic, I think, was the best way possible. But yeah, I was about to say, I think now Lee, Alex, and Yayan, they got rid of the traffic, so now they're pushing to. Oh! We lost the top.
Oh no! Ash Beard and Harry Seven together at the hairpin. I could hear the bang at the front. And Harry Seven, oh, that's absolutely devastating. He drops down the order. Not sure who clattered into who. Can't really see any damage on Harry's car. We'll have a look at Ash's machine.
No, I don't think they got any damage of it, but from the outside look of it, Harry was ahead, but on the outside, tried to cut a bit whilst Ashley locked his tires, so they collided.
That's a big, big shame. Such a great lead battle was developing there, but now Lee Berridge leads the race from Alex Fretwell and Ian Stitchbury. Fretwell got a couple of podiums back at Misano. Stitchbury got all 3. He's been on the podium in every race so far this season. Berridge now under pressure for Boosted Motorsport. Started 7th on the grid in this race. Alex Fretwell started just behind him in 8th, but Ian Stitchbury started 15th. Is he going to be the one to take this race win? He did say, now that Dylan's not around, who's going to be the one to lead the way?
Yeah, now you can. The Chase has basically switched drivers, but it's the same situation really. It's Leon up in the front, and then Alex, then Yayan. So I think the situation has changed a bit, but not really. Will Lee manage his first position and hold back Yayan and Alex, or will they fight in between them two so Lee can escape? We'll see. We still have so much time ahead of us. So.
Yeah, I think 3 more laps to go after this one. So Lee's got to really focus. And look at that, Ian Stitchbury already putting the pressure on down the inside. Him and Alex Fretwell have raced each other a number of times in ESR, now SRI. So they know each other well enough, and Ian is not hanging about, having a go at the back of the 9PP machine. He's really on him. I mean, look at that. Look how close he is there. You can smell the exhaust of that machine in front of us. I was going to say, is he going to go for it down the inside? No, surely not. He's trying to make Alex make a mistake, though.
That's quite the intrusive point of view from Yayan's car.
A little bit, yeah.
Now, yeah, I think Yayan is nothing short of a skilled driver, so he will definitely try to pull the move on Alex. And like you said, they've known each other for now a long time, racing in different series, different leagues, in different cars together. Yayan, he knows the Clio as well because he raced it before, because what car has that guy not raced? Really?
I know, yeah. He's good in everything, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just good at everything car-related. Watching, painting, driving. I mean, yeah, what can't you do apart having a good rugby national team, you know,
exactly.
As a Welsh driver. But yeah, I think Yayan is going to try for a move, but like we said before in race 1, I think managing to pass a driver, if the guy in front is quick and does not make a mistake, I think is going to be down to like a dive bomb or an exceptional switchback like we saw Dan pulled. So let's see what way is going to be Yayan's way to pass Alex.
Well, we're going to see now. In the slipstream they go, but look, there's like barely any slipstream here in the iRacing Clio. It's absolutely blasphemic as he decides which way to go. Fretwell puts the car in the middle of the road, brakes nicely, And the three of them are right together. Ash Beard side by side here with Martin Shirley. Jan Osberg has gone through as Martin Shirley now tries to squeeze through as well. Ash tries to give him a bit of room, but doesn't leave too much to be played with on the inside. Stuart Clark is just ahead of Sam Van Olst behind this as well. John Breitenbach still in the mix. There's so many fights going on here. Beard is moving right, then left. Shirley really having to work hard to get down the inside. Great racing tonight by Martin Shirley, and he now gets the move done. John Breitenbach suddenly arrives on the scene. Ash is having to swing the wheel this way and that way just to try and stay in front of these guys and not hit anyone. He's wobbling the car around all over the joint. It's a very wobbly Clio. Tries to put his nose back down the inside. Breitenbach goes through around the outside of the Spontex machine. Back to the front. Berridge has 2 more laps to go and still leads the way in car 41.
2 more laps, but they're all within the same second of each other. So the more we race, the less the smaller the gap is, rather. So will he be able to hold them off? We'll see. Still, I think a couple of laps still in the race, but the more English, hello. The more interesting thing is that Dan is still 4th.
Yeah, indeed. 4th place, still no podium yet this season. But look at the train of cars behind him, waiting to take advantage of any mistake. You know, he's got a big run of them. Rob Sutherland and Harry Seven having a little scrap here. Rob's going to be sick of the sight of the Spectra racing cars. Ben Gregory hasn't been able to make as many places as he would have wanted to from his pit lane start, but he's still got himself back into the points between Jordan Butler and Jack Johns. James Underhill just behind these guys, just running outside of the points right now. Pallett has got what's left of Kenyon's car behind him, but we need to go back to the front, and we will remain here for a good bit because Lee Berridge still leads this race, but it's going to be a case of how can Stitchbury do in this final sector, because that's where he's quick.
Yeah, that's where it's quick, but that's also a place where it's not that easy to pass. So let's see if he settles down or if he tries to go for an aggressive move, since he's that close to the leaders. The last wavy bit, I think we've seen like incidents in there before. If you are not at the right place when you go for a move, it can really unsettle the drivers around you and create chaos. So knowing these 3 drivers, I'm not too worried, but I'm really just interested in seeing how or what the angle of attack will be from either Alex or Yayan.
Well, final lap now underway in the 5th race of the season here in the CDM Clio Cup. 2nd race of the night here from Okayama International, and it's Lee Berridge for Boosted Motorsport leading 9PP Racing's Alex Fretwell, and Yayan Stitchbury for Aura Motorsports won the 1st race of the night, took the championship lead as a result. He's going for back-to-back race victories here and a first win from a reverse grid position of 15. The 3 drivers separated by just 0.4 of a second. Stitchbury's going to go for it down the inside. He was always going to go for that, but there's contact with Fretwell. Oh, he's not going to be enjoying giving that one up, is Fretwell. And to be honest, I think Stitchbury may give that back. I'm not sure. He might feel like he was squeezed a bit. He's definitely squeezed down here, Francois.
I don't think he's aiming at giving the position back. I think that was a bit too manly to Alex's Estates, but that's Yayan in a nutshell. He's tough but fair.
Tries it down the inside. Lee Berridge, a little bit of a lock-up on the way in. Stitchbury now goes through, up into 2nd place, eventually completes the move. Fretwell will not be pleased with that one, I am sure, but it's Berridge, car 41, still ruling the roost at the moment. He started 7th on the grid, so he's had to work for this one, as Jack Johns, Jordan Butler and Ben Gregory have had a bit of a drama back here. Ben Gregory flashing the lights, clearly not happy about something, but there's just a few corners left to go.
You know, Ben's definitely not testing the headlights of his car when he's doing that, so something must have happened. Remember, guys, that even if it's replayed, all the incidents will be reviewed. We just can't show it as a result because otherwise we would lose the live broadcast.
And well, how about that for a result? From 7th on the grid, Lee Berridge takes his first win in the CDM Clio Cup from Yayan Stitchbury and Alex Fretwell. Oh, actually, you know what? Dan McCauley took 3rd place from Alex Fretwell. Alex Fretwell drops down into 4th position. Jan Osberg and Martin Shirley next up, but Dan McCauley scores his first podium in the championship. Ash Beard, Stuart Clark and Sam Van Olst complete the 10. Jack Johns is ahead of Jordan Butler and Ben Gregory. And Ben is the final point scorer in that race. But Lee Berridge takes his first ever win. in the championship, and I think that's his first race win in a CDM series.
I don't know if you came down or...
Yeah, I think so. I'm rewatching the replay. I think Alex got a slowdown on the last before or last. I can't English tonight. Jesus. the one before the last, the one where the pit lane starts. I think he caught the line a little too much, and he got a slowdown as a result. Sorry.
Well, you could all, I'm sure, hear the voices there. So what I'm going to do, literally, while you watch this live, is go and turn the voice chat off, because I shouldn't have had that on. I have it on for when we review incidents and so on. But yeah, unfortunately, we had that on there. So yeah, you guys would have heard the voices in the chatter afterwards. So I do apologise. Let's have a quick look at the race results so far this evening. Jan Stitchbury won the first race of the night from Sam Van Alst and Martin Shirley, with Dan McCauley in 4th place and Jack Johns in 5th. Then it was Martin Kenyon, Jan Osberg, Alex Fretwell, Lee Berridge and John Breitenbach completing the 10. Completing the point scorers was Harry Seven, Stuart Clark, Danny Weir, Jordan Butler and Ashley Beard. Moving very quickly over to race number 2 of the night. It's Lee Berridge taking his first ever race win in a CDM series, with Jan Stitchbury second. A great night for him so far. Dan McCauley gets his first podium of the championship ahead of Alex Fretwell. Those two are always up there fighting. Jan Osberg 5th ahead of Shirley, Breitenbach and Beard, with Clark and Van Alst completing the top 10. Then we have Harry Seven ahead of Rob Sutherland. Jack Johns, Jordan Butler and Ben Gregory complete the point scorers, with James Underhill, Martin Kenyon, James Pallett, Danny Weir not completing the race, and James Holman as well, not starting that one. Busy night so far.
Sorry. I was about to say, without any sort of disrespect, I think that's a good surprise that Lee managed to finish on the first position. So I hope we're going to have more surprises like that throughout the rest of the season, because as much as I like Dylan as a driver, I think it's always a bit better when you know you have spectacle for every position on the grid. I think some drivers would have found it a little bit depressive to always settle for second position, even if it shows that Dylan's nothing short of an alien. Props to him for being that good, which is something I'll never be. But yeah, I think Lee's, congrats to him, because what a drive. And yeah, let's see what Ray 3 has in its plans for us.
Absolutely. Well, we are going to just take a quick break here on Chaz Draycott Media. We've got Jack Johns saying that he's really looking forward to the third race of the night. Not sure if he's going to take a win or not, but every time that we do an as live broadcast from a replay, I assume that the drivers that are excited to watch it are just the ones that have done well. So we'll see exactly what happens. Either way, Francois and I will be back in just 5 minutes' time, and then we will get into it for the final race of the evening here from Okayama in the CDM Clio Cup. Hello again, everybody. Chaz Draycott and Francois Brandet in the commentary box here for round number 2 of the CDM Clio Cup here from Okayama. Really excited about this final race of the night here, Francois. We've had 2 absolute belters so far and 2 first-time winners in the championship as well.
Yeah, I'm really excited about Race 3 because so far the evening has been there's nothing but exciting for us to watch. I'm slightly worried as well because, as you know, the races, they go through the day as if it were a real day of racing. So one starts on the colder side of things. The second race has a more cool or hotter, depending on which side of things you look at. And the third is the hottest of the 3, rather. So let's hope that the drivers didn't get comfy and didn't get a bit complacent if they were driving. We've seen a little incidents. He's not. They are not tainted. Sorry, the evening for us because it's been nothing but fun so far. But let's hope nothing too worrying arrive.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got one more race this evening, another 20 minutes, and a big thanks to Stuart Clark for going out on circuit and giving us something to look at it, or something for us to look at, I should say. Certainly should be an intriguing final race, though. No reverse grid. Ryan Stitchbury starting right near the front of the grid here, Francois. Surely he is the one to beat with the pace that he's had tonight.
Yeah, well, I think Lee's gonna start the third race in the same state of panic as he finished the second one. Sorry, because now what he built in, I think 8 or 7 minutes, he has to go for and defend for 20 with a brand new, fresh car, fresh tires. Let's see who gets the upper end on that. Will Yayan be a bit better with the hotter track but the cooler tires, or will it be the other way around? Surprise.
Yeah, you never know in these cars. They are quite fickle when it comes to temperatures and things. So we'll see. But that's the nature of a front-wheel drive race car, I suppose.
Yeah. And we only mentioned Yayan, but the grid is filled with great drivers to look at. So no offense to the others, but yeah, there's basically, I think 7 or 8 drivers even that could go and try to grab the podium tonight.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see then. Here is the grid for the final race of the evening. It's the finishing order from race 2. Lee Berridge and Ryan Stitchbury on pole. In the front row. Dan McCauley and Alex Fretwell next up ahead of Jan Osberg and Martin Shirley, with Jean Breitenbach and Ashley Beard, with Stuart Clark and Sam Van Olst completing the top 10. Then it's Harry Seven and Rob Sutherland, Jack Johns and Jordan Butler, Ben Gregory alongside James Underhill, with Martin Kenyon and James Pallett on row 9. Then it's Danny Weir and James Holman completing the grid. James not there, unfortunately, after a disconnect earlier. Harry asking if we rewatched the murder. No, we did not, mate. As mentioned, we don't have replays when we do these from a replay file. We cannot go to it and then click live again, because when we click live, it basically fast forwards to the latest point, which is the very end of the replay. So we do not have replays of incidents. However, because we have a replay file, the stewards can look back at stuff. Nice and tasty. Anyway, we've got a bit of low light here for the final race of the afternoon, evening, day, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
Let's crack on then. Revs rise and we're away for the 6th race of the season in the CDM Clio Cup. Lee Berridge instantly moves over to the right to defend. So too does Dan McCauley. Alex Fretwell tries to get to the inside as well. Even says he enters the pit lane. He goes that far over to the right-hand side. Got that by Sam Van Olst round the outside. No, it was Jack Johns round the outside this time round. Lovely golden light here to start this race, Francois. It looks very lovely, but golden position for Ryan Stitchbury. He heads straight to the front.
Yeah, I was about to say the Japanese sunset looks to be quite sexy for Yayan. Is already side by side with Lee, and we've not even done, I think, 4 turns. So let's see if we can all behind him.
Oh,
big crash.
Whoa, dearie me. Stuart Clark is off. We've lost. Is that Ash Beard in there as well? Sam Van Olst involved in a drama as well. He's got big damage to the right-hand side of that car. Oh, that's not good for Sam. He's right up there in the championship as well. Needs to think about his championship aspirations. Somehow Dan McCauley's ended up in the battle for the lead here. He and Fretwell have benefited from Berridge and Stitchbury having a good old scrap. Got those two making door-to-door contact into the hairpin. A few drivers behind. Sounds like someone else is off. Oh, James Pallett off the road. Rob Sutherland involved in that one as well. I think Rob's got a bit of damage on the front right of his car. Looks like that front right wheel maybe mashed in a little bit, maybe even the front left actually. I can't tell which one's more out of shape. Dan McCauley side by side with Fretwell.
Yeah, and I'm rewatching the turn 4 incident, and that's a lockup from Ashley Beard, which sent I think 3 or 4 drivers in the grass. Well, so yeah, I think people got a little bit too excited about the way the third race started and forgot about cold tires.
Yeah, easily done though, like we've seen in the Clio. I mean, everybody is locked up in this car once or twice, right? We've all seen it.
Oh,
It seems like a bit of a bad night if your name's James, because James Holman, Underhill and Pallett are the last 3 drivers currently on the timing tower at the moment. Dan McCauley right in the thick of it here. He's stuck behind Lee Berridge, and Lee has done a great job at defending these positions in the opening lap. He's got Fretwell 4th, and then just behind them Jan Osberg trying to stay ahead of Martin Shirley. Martin and John Breitenbach have both been up there in all 3 races tonight. They're on for some good point scores across the end of the evening.
Yeah, John Breitenbach is different from somebody. Sorry, I'm surprised about seeing there, because he's always been a quick driver. And yeah, I think Martin, when like seeing his pace from before, I think it's not surprising either. But yeah, everybody's found people to fight with, and whether you're looking at the first positions, the 7th or the 13th, I think we got the most amount of fun we could have had of proper racing, door to door banging, slightly too much at times, but besides that, I think it was just a great night of racing so far.
Yeah, and Stitchbury's going to be loving it at the moment. He leads the way while these guys try and fight behind. Dan McCauley, for most of his life, has run car 41. Lee Berridge now has that number, so Dan's been consigned to number 21. He's fighting to show Lee why he should have his race number and Lee shouldn't have it. John Breitenbach side by side with Jan Osberg. Jan Osberg still very much in the fight in all of these races. He's been a lively one tonight. He's been a busy bee, you could say, in the bearded Bumblebee racing machine. Nice and tidy through there, leaves a lot of room to the outside. Now here comes the Wasp attacking the bee. It's Harry Seven in the big yellow and black Spectra racing machine. Jack Johns has got a front row seat to all of this. You can see down the inside of Harry. Oh no, he's gone bowling, and Jack has made a fantastic opportunistic move to go through. But just as we were saying good things about John Breitenbach and Jan Osberg, oh, what's that in the background? Danny Weir turns sideways across the front of Sam van Olst.
Yeah, people, please behave.
I think that was maybe just an avoidance, after seeing the incident. They've tried to sort of reconvene, and maybe Sam caught him out. I don't know, a bit of a weird one, but yeah, unfortunately there, Jean and Jan both getting absolutely smacked into, and both losing a lot of ground as a result. Jack Johnson, Ben Gregory were both further down the order earlier, and so too, by the way, is Martin Kenyon. These 3 have gained 7, 8 and 9 places each, and Martin Kenyon started right at the back of the grid here, 17th in this race, and now he's in the scrap.
Yeah, well, I mean, props to Martin for being at the right place at the right time, but I think it's slightly easier to gain positions when your opponents, they just kill each other. That's a proper technique to master.
Yeah, it's very, very true, but in it to win it and all of that, I do like, I'm obviously biased because I set it up, but I do like that we have the progression of the conditions here. So it's 4:30 in the sim now, whereas the qualifying is at 9 o'clock. Race 1 is at 10:30, and then we have race 2 at 12 o'clock. So there's a bit of time progression gradually across all 3 races on one of these CDM Clio Cup evenings. And I think it looks great because we know that it's later on in the day now that we get this final race, and you can visually see it, can't you? You feel like it's later in the day. It's really cool.
Yeah, do you think drivers, getting involved in nasty incidents are just pretending to be tired after the long day of racing?
Yeah, they must be. They must be. Lee Berridge still holding on in front of Dan McCauley, doing a great job at the moment. 1:44.3 on that previous lap. Martin Shirley did the fastest lap of the race with a 1:43.8. Dan now getting caught out by Alex Fretwell after that little mistake. Alex is going to try and have a go. He says, look, I want to try and get past the boosted motorsport machine. Tries a cutback down the inside like Dan did earlier on. And now he's right on the back of them as they come over the top of the hill. Martin Shirley is going to be the one with the front row seat to this, though. Martin has been in every fight we've seen so far tonight, I think. He's been all over the order, but now he's in this for a podium position, potentially.
Yeah, I feel like everybody... I can't English, mate. I feel like when there's action going on, there's always an RD Sim Sport car around. So yeah, Martin's definitely one of the one of the top scoring cars for that team tonight, with sadly Rob not having the greatest.
Oh, no!
Oh!
Oh, Rob, get out of it. I mean, Rob, not... Oh, mate.
Oh, mate.
Wheel-to-wheel contact spits Martin Shirley out of there. Oh, dearie me. I'm sorry, Rob. I saw an RD car and I shouted Rob. But, yeah, Martin just... It just seemed like he didn't get out of it then. He was just pushing him along, but...
Oh. It looked like he wanted to dump him on the side of the road, like, please move off. You're just a roadkill.
Well, that makes life easier for Ben Gregory and Martin Kenyon, who have now gained 11 and 12 places each in this race. Ben Gregory 4th, Martin Kenyon from 17th on the grid in 7 minutes up into 5th place. Great start for him. What about this in the background? We've got Jan Osberg and Sam van Olst together. But boy, busy stuff now.
Yeah, Martin up in 5th position, but I wonder with how many clean passes on track. I think 0.
Yeah, that's true. He's just sort of floated his way up to the top. Harry 7 up into 6th place. Jack Johns up into 7th. Jack just said in the YouTube chat that he got a really harsh slowdown penalty when he was following Ben. So that's why he's dropped a little bit, because him, Ben and Martin all had similar places gained up to this point. But hopefully Jack can hold his position and even gain them to get more points out of this race. He needs them after a bit of a bruising start to the season at Misano. Harry goes defensive on the inside. Jack nice and late on the brakes. He's always been good on the brakes, as Jack. Oh, well, it just turned into the door of Harry 7 there and bounces off. Hopefully no damage to either of the very pretty, shiny cars. But yeah, that was quite the... that was like a shoulder barge in football, that, wasn't it?
Yeah, a little driving with your elbows out a little bit, showing that you're still around, you're not to be forgotten, even if you're stuck in somebody's mirrors. But now I'm excited to see if Alex can climb his way back after his little commitment with, I think it was Martin before. Alex obviously has the pace to go up front, but with the speed not being too much of a factor in these cars and draft not being a thing at all, maybe he's a bit already lost, marooned a little bit too much in that race to find his way back to interesting positions.
Yeah, Martin Shirley there just had a little bit of a kiss with Stuart Clark as he tried to put his nose down the inside and regain one of those places. Lee Berridge having a great night so far, running in 2nd position. Dan McCauley right behind him, but there's still half of this race left to go. So still plenty of time for it all to change. Ben Gregory and Martin Kenyon still right together for 4th and 5th places. Then it's Harry 7 and Jack Johns and Alex Fretwell. Fight further down here between Danny Weir, Stuart Clark and Martin Shirley, as we were just looking at.
Yeah, I think Danny, he's had an eventful race too, his incident with, I think, Jack Jones, if I remember correctly. So still being around 12th or 13th position rather. So still scoring. I think that's good for Danny because, like we said at the beginning of the stream, he was not feeling too well after, I think, Misano, where he parked out basically of the last race. But it's always cool to see the drivers, even if they're involved or suffering from a few illnesses here and there, trying to do their best and drive as best as possible.
Martin Shirley there just sending a bit of a message to Danny saying, look, don't try and cut back underneath me because I am having this position and I'm holding on to it. Martin really going for it there. Good to see a nice little scrap between these guys as Jack has put... Oh, Danny throws it up the inside, doesn't get it stopped in time and clips the rear of Martin. John Breitenbach says, oh, 3 point. Cheers. Thanks, Danny. That was a bit of a shame to see. But
you can see the driving or the movement. Danny gave back the positions immediately, slowed down to let Martin go. So he's not for it. He knows he messed up. And even if that's not something we like to see, we always like to see the sportsmanship of the drivers in our series. That's something that I think most, if not all of them, have shown before. And that's only something we are very appreciative of.
Yeah, definitely. It was mentioned after all of the penalties that were given out after Misano. There was a number of them that could have been avoided if drivers had just slowed down a little bit and given the position back, just to remove any potential doubt. Jack Johns has mentioned in the YouTube chat, it would be so good if the draft worked properly, like the real Clios. It would be so good. As I mentioned earlier, Martin Kenyon would now be doing about 400 miles an hour, but instead he's doing about 90. He'd be breaking the sound barrier by the time he got to the hairpin. But
Yeah, but
yeah.
I'm quite happy they're not getting into that hairpin with the like real life draft because that would be bloody.
Yeah, it would, yeah. The gravel trap would be red and littered with plastic pieces of Clio. Martin Kenyon really trying this on Ben Gregory right now. It didn't quite work for him through there, though, and Ben's opened up a car length or two. Jack Johns and Harry Seven are going to be on the tail of them in any moment with how they're pushing at the minute. Looks like Dan McCauley has finally got past Lee Berridge a bit further up the order. He's gone around the outside into one hairpin, down the inside for the other, and through goes McCauley. He got his first podium in the second race of the night, and now he is going to try and go for another one, getting ahead of Lee Berridge for that second place. He's just got to hold on there until the end. Good battling so far. Just under 8 minutes left to go in this final race of the night, and it's Yayan Stitchbury continuing to lead for Aura Motorsports. Then it's Dan McCauley for Series 1 Racing. The two boosted cars, Boosted Motorsport, then Boosted Simsport, Lee Berridge and Ben Gregory. Then it's Kenyon, Seven, Johns, Fretwell, Van Olst and Jan Osberg completing the top 10. Considering how busy a night Jan Osberg has had, it's amazing that he's consistently getting top 10s. He's under attack from Jordan Butler right now, though. Jordan has been a bit quiet this evening, but he's getting on it.
Yeah, Jordan still being around that top 10, even though he had 2 penalties to serve, basically. So, like I said, I think it was in race 1 or 2, I can't remember. He still managed to find a way back through the field. Obviously, people having crashes in there helped a lot, but yeah, only 7 minutes remaining, now 6 and a bit more. We do mention when we do the driver's briefing, you know, for those who are watching from home, that 20-minute is a lifetime in a Clio, so don't go for silly moves at turn 1. But at the same time, the races, they go by so fast.
They really do. Jack has decided to take another chunk out of the door of Harry Seven's car. Harry was parked on the inside, and he's just given him a bit of a scratch on his shiny yellow paint or vinyl. Alex Fretwell now in the mix here. He wants a piece of this as well to try and take some points off Jack and off Harry. Battle in front as well is Ben Gregory and Martin Kenyon getting friendly. Bit of a kiss there between Johns and Seven yet again. These two getting very, very friendly. Jack's giving him a wet and dry rub all over. Favourite commentator of mine would have called that a hip and shoulder if he'd have gotten alongside him, but yeah, some very, very feisty stuff. I think Fretwell is going to be hoping that that continues so he can gain an easy position.
Yeah, even though he's running in 8th at the minute, he can see 5th because he has like legit 4 cars right in front of him. So he might be hoping for either an incident or a very nice angle of attack to gain the positions back, the positions he lost after he tried to get physical with Martin, or the other way around rather. But I think it's not lost yet for Alex, because like I might have been wrong when I said he was a bit too far down the order after his crash, because now legit 5th position is only like a second ahead of him.
Sam Van Olst, let's not forget, was in the gravel at this very corner on the first lap. He was off after a big incident, and he's now back inside the top 10. It's a really good recovery drive by Sam Van Olst. Doing really well tonight is the Belgian, despite that incident. But here is the battle between Kenyon and Gregory once again. Their cars have been subject to a lot of attention in the past week as we've tried to figure out why the hell the numbers on the side of the windows do that thing that they do. As Gregory goes in deep, Kenyon sells him down the river, and Martin Kenyon moves up into 4th place. Great move.
What a move from Martin. Do you reckon Ben was maybe a little bit too lost in his mirrors trying to defend from Martin?
Yeah.
Lost, and he just butchered this hairpin, making enough room for Martin to pass.
Jack Johns tries to go around the outside of Harry Seven. Harry defends the inside line. Jack tries it. There's a bit of a shoulder barge. Jack now has the inside line. That's the favoured line through here, because then you've got another right-hander and then another one after that. Oh, the two of them getting a bit friendly. Goodness me. Gives him a bit of a kiss one way, then the other. Cuts the nose off into the penultimate corner. And suddenly Fretwell on the scene. Oh, but Harry Seven with a move back up the inside. The two of them now wing mirror to wing mirror. That was very boisterous from Jack Johns. Made sure that Harry knew he was there, but I suppose he's been behind him for a number of laps now and fed up of trying to force his way through. And actually, Harry reconfirms that position into turn 1 on Alex Fretwell. Lovely stuff. Alex now back into turn 2. Yeah. Oh, and there's more contact. Goodness me.
I think, yeah, Alex, I think he had to pull this move, Alex, because he was a bit stuck behind, I think, Ari and and Jack, but he saw Sam climb his way back in his mirrors, so he had to go for it. Otherwise, he would have had been under attack from Sam from behind.
The Spectra Racing guys need to turn the green outline off on the decals that I sent to them, because you can just see these little green bits. Look, if we go on board, look on the dashboard there, you see the green outline, and then if we look from Sam Van Olst's car, you can see the green stripe on the rear window. That's how anal I am about these things. You can't see the window now because Sam Van Olst is alongside. You'll see it now. Look, little green stripe on the rear window where his name is. Gives him a bit of a kiss as well. So both the Gold Sus cars are mounting an attack on the back of the Spectra Racing machine. Let's calm down a bit. Let's watch Ryan Stitchbury for a second. There we go. That was nice, wasn't it? Sam Van Olst back down the inside of Harry 7. Has another bit of a look. Oh, he's clinging to that rear bumper. Harry 7 must have 400 incident points here. Sam. Oh, nah. That was never on. That was never on. Put his nose down the inside where there was never going to be a space. Harry 7 will feel... I mean, I know that he went bowling earlier, but he'll feel hard done by there for sure.
Yeah, he tried to go for a room or a gap that never existed in the first place, or he didn't picture Harry going as wide as he went into that corner. One would never know, but yeah, that's a bit clumsy, because we're always praising our drivers for the clean, close racing we're having and we've had so far tonight, but these little things, just robs us the wrong way.
Yeah, I think sometimes drivers go into a battle thinking, oh, this guy's going to do this, or oh, this guy's going to do that. And drivers sort of approach one another with this idea in their mind that there's going to be contact at some point with somebody. And then, obviously, that's going to make it happen if you're going to drive annoyed. I've seen it before in a number of series, as I'm sure we both have. And hopefully that wasn't a case of that. But it just seemed like as soon as a Gold Sus car came up behind Harry 7, they just thought, I've got to hit it. Because Jack drove into him twice in the hairpin, and then Sam's just pipped him out of the way. It's poor Harry 7's car.
I don't know what Harry's car is made of, but man, that is quite tasty.
Yeah, I mean, it's either cheese or gold. It's one or the other. But right now, I mean, despite the contact we saw him have earlier, Jack Johnson's had a great race here. 7 places gained from 13th on the grid up into 6th. Ben Gregory is up 10 places just in front of him. And then you've got Martin Kenyon currently running in 4th position. 13 places gained from 17th on the grid. Martin is having the race of his life. And Aura Motorsports are going to be doing themselves a massive favour in the Teams Championship as well. Let's not forget that RD Motorsports were leading that. Sorry, RD Simsport were leading that with Dylan DaCosta. And then James Holman came here hoping to take the pole position and then race 1 win, of course, for championship points for the team. But with that disconnect, was unable to make it work tonight.
Yeah,
but right now,
he had his fingers on the crown, but he slipped.
He did indeed.
Sadly.
Yayan's now less than a second ahead of Dan McCauley. Dan is really pushing on here, isn't he? He was 0.3 of a second quicker than him on that previous lap. It's just not going to be enough this time round for the Scotsman if he continues on this pace.
Yeah, I think now that Dan has managed to clear himself from Lee, he's having enough room to just focus on Yaya and try to go for it. Sorry, but I'm not quite sure he's gonna have enough time to do so, because even if it's like less than a second, like we mentioned plenty of times already, the draft is just non-existing in that series on iRacing. So unless Yayan makes a very silly mistake, which he does not tend to do much, Dan will eventually, I think, finish on the 2nd position, which is a very good position to finish in.
Yeah, absolutely. He had 4th place, a 3rd place, and now he's going to get a 2nd place. So it's not a bad night at all for Dan in the Drivers' Championship. Let's not forget as well the people that he was chasing coming here tonight were Alex Fretwell, Matt Hoyland. So, and he was ahead of Sam Van Olst already in the championship. So, yeah, I'm sure Dan will go away from here very, very happy if it finishes this way. It doesn't look like that battle's going to change there. It doesn't look like the lead's going to change either. Ryan Stitchbury into the final corner, and the Welshman is going to take 2 wins out of 2 tonight with a 2nd place in the middle. That is how you claim a championship lead. Ryan Stitchbury wins at Okayama in the CDM Clio Cup. Dan McCauley takes a great 2nd place, and Lee Berridge caps off a hell of an evening with a 3rd position. Very well done to him. Martin Kenyon finishes in 4th. What a drive from 17th on the grid. Then it's Ben Gregory, Jack Johns, Alex Fretwell, Sam Van Olst, Jordan Butler inside the top 10 ahead of Jan Osberg. Harry 7 finishes in 11th ahead of Martin Shirley, Stuart Clark, Jean Breitenbach and Danny Weir then gets the final point scoring position. Sounds like there was a bit of contact near the near the first corner then after the flag. I'm not quite sure what that was all about. But Ryan Stitchbury, Francois, what a night from him. 2 wins and a second place. Big stuff.
Yeah, I mean, no disrespect to the others, but that was a bit expected for Yayan to finish on the top spot, at least on a few races, because he's just that good on every car. But yeah, I think he's seizing the occasion. Dylan's not there, so there's a top spot that is free to fight, or not too free to fight, but at least free to grab, and I think he managed to grab it the right way.
He absolutely did. I'm just going to quickly get us some provisional championship points to look at after the 3 races here this evening. Jyens Ditchbury takes another race win, just 0.6 of a second clear of Dan McCauley. Dan was chasing him down right at the end there. Lee Berridge takes not just his first race win, but also another podium to go with it. Martin Kenyon delivers a fantastic performance to finish in 4th, ahead of Ben Gregory 5th. Jack Johns gets some solid points in 6th place, ahead of Alex Fretwell. Sam Van Olst with a great recovery up into 8th, ahead of Jordan Butler and Jan Osberg. Harry Seven is 11th after that bruising encounter with the 2 Goldsus cars. Then we have Martin Shirley in 12th, Stuart Clark 13th, John Breitenbach 14th, and as we saw, Danny Weir completes the point scorers. Rob Sutherland just outside points on that one in 16th, with James Pallett and Ashley Beard out of the race. James Underhill also out of the race for Spontex CDM Esports. James Holman will complete the field, but unfortunately it was a night of a disconnect for him that meant he will not score a single point from this one. We'll have a look
sadly, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say we'll look at the championship points after what was a very, very busy night of racing. And don't forget that this is completely... what's the word for it? This was based on the... Oh, I know what it's done here, And it worked earlier, this. I'm really sorry. I know this is really shoddy to not have this work. But this worked earlier, and it really annoys me that now we're actually in the session it doesn't work. Because Dylan DaCosta does have 75 points, we know that. But it's zeroed out his points for some reason, as if it's... I think it's picking up the wrong category or something. Let me just see if I can get it to do this. 1 second. I'm so sorry about this, everyone. If you just bear with me. I'm going to just try and see if we can get it to do it.
The perks of watching Chaz Draycott stream is you get the live effects from a non-live broadcast.
Yeah, it's... I think because we're in a replay, it's not quite applied the points properly. It's almost changed who it's given the points to. It's really weird. But Ryan Stitchbury is on 140 points apparently, and that's not going to be the case. These would have been provisional points, but no. Seems like we can't have everything. But I'll tell you what, Francois, a busy night of racing here tonight, and, well, we've got Donington Park in a week's time where it's going to rain. That could be quite interesting.
Yeah, quite interesting, because that's going to be the very first raining event of the CDM series, generally speaking. So still a car drivers are adapting to with tricky conditions on a track they do know for the most part, but it's going to be quite the evening of racing, I think. But if tonight was a lesson, I think it still shows that they need to not be complacent about the conditions of the car, the conditions of the track, conditions of the tires as well. So let's see if they can adapt and with even more tricky conditions.
Absolutely. And we don't really do interviews on these sorts of broadcasts, but you know what? He's made the effort to be here. I'm going to speak to Lee Berridge. Lee, congratulations first off on your first ever win in a CDM series, but also another podium to go with it. What a night you had at Okayama. Oh, I don't know he's there. Lee, are you there? I should have checked actually beforehand, shouldn't I? Oh, he's trying to mute and unmute himself. But we can't hear you, I'm afraid, Lee.
If you're in danger, blink twice.
Yeah. Oh, that's a massive shame. He's disconnected. We'll hopefully get him back in just a moment. Let's see. Can we get him in?
Back.
Oh, I wonder if it's a connection thing at my end. Lee, can you hear us?
Hey, I can hear you.
There we go. How are you, mate? You must be buzzing after that first win of the season and obviously your first CDM series win.
Oh, now we've lost him.
He's speechless.
It's like when you have a reporter that is in China. Yeah, have you been? And he answers like 20 seconds after.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, mate, I wish we could hear him. What we will do very quickly is we'll speak to another driver because he's always up for an interview. Mr. Fretwell, hello, mate. How are you? You must be quite chuffed with that night. A lot of battles on your hands.
Yeah, this is a new one. Trying to remember what happened.
Oh God, yeah.
Slept since then. Yeah, an eventful night. I think obviously the field was a little bit closer without Dylan. Yeah, a decent night to be fair. Qualifying probably just missing a few tenths, I think, and it was sort of a similar situation last week. Obviously, yeah, rain next week's going to be a bit of a randomizer, I guess. No one really knows how that's going to play out. So, yeah, all going well. Having fun. Trying to avoid incidents. Not always possible. But, yeah, all good. And, yeah, looking forward to the rest of the season.
Well, it's
Alex,
certainly.
quick question. I'm sorry, Chaz.
Go on.
I was about to say, Alex, we did talk about it after the race last night because obviously I was there and so were you. But where do you think we, as competitor, as admin, as a driver, where do we draw the line between tough racing and respectful racing? You know, these cars, they like to go doors to doors, but do you think like some people tend to abuse it, or do you think maybe others are being a little bit too generous on the room they're giving their opponents?
I think the way I read it anyway, I think if you're sort of alongside and at pretty much the same angle, then a little bit of leaning on each other is sort of to be expected. I think if you're coming in at an odd angle or sending it to the corner just to get alongside and dooring people, that's maybe a bit much, but that's not up to me. I'll race however we're told.
All right, fair enough, mate.
As long as I know what's allowed, I'll push it to 1% below that.
You're not allowed to left-hand down people, but you can right-hand down people. There's
I'm used
the rule.
to turning right in real life, so I'll...
Oh, well, you're only allowed to left-hand down people then. You've got an advantage if you right-hand down people, right? Either way, Alex, we're going to be flying through these tonight, I'm afraid, but is there anyone you'd like to give a shout-out to while we've got you on the stream?
Not particularly.
All right, bye.
Wow.
I just forgot his name because his name's French Chaz.
Wow.
Francois, just for sort of keeping things going last night and stepping up. So yeah, all ran pretty smoothly.
Smashing. Well, thank you very much, Alex. Great to see you as always, mate, and we'll see you again in just under a week.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
There you go.
And that's the first time I'm being forgotten about. That hurts.
Oh, dearie me. Let's try again with Lee Berridge, shall we? Lee, can you hear us?
Hello, I'm here.
Here he is. How are you, mate? You must be over the moon with how that night went at Okayama.
Oh, mate, I'm buzzing after that. That was a really fun race, but at the same time, it's like the highest stress levels you can encounter for 20 minutes.
I bet.
When I took the win, all I was concerned about was Ewan. I knew he was there, and I thought if he gets into second, I've had it. But Okayama it's one of those tracks. It's so tight and technical, but it's really difficult to overtake, and I knew that. And I just thought I've just got to play the defensive lines. As long as I don't compromise myself too much, I should be all right. But the third race, Dan played a blinder, lovely overtake, and I wasn't going to defend it too much because I was mindful that if we fight, we were just going to drop back into the sort of hands of Martin and the rest of the field.
Yeah,
so,
and co.
And the third race was just a case of bring it home in third place. I didn't really care to fight for second. I probably ought to have been there anyway.
Bless you. Well, some big solid championship points as well for the campaign. We've tried to have provisional results, as I'm sure you might have seen, but it's absolutely cacked itself, the system has. But, I mean, it's not a bad season so far, really. A bit bruising at Misano, maybe, but seems like you're well in the fight with these things. How are you finding sort of adapting to the car?
Do you know what? Coming into this series, I very nearly didn't sign up because I don't like the Clio Cups. Whenever I've raced them officials, I just seem to be extremely slow against the rest of the drivers out there, and just think, what is it? I'm not gelling with the car, but something about what iRacing have done to it, have tweaked it, and have actually made it feel like a front-wheel drive car, whereas it felt completely wrong before. And since then, I seem to find some moderate pace, and hopefully I can get a few more evenings like tonight pay off for me, and you never know.
You never know in these series, do you? I suppose it's all over the place sometimes. But either way, Lee, it was great to see you get that win. I know you've had quite a trying time in some CDM series before, so it's great to see that breakthrough and then to follow it up with another podium. I was genuinely pumping the air, punching the air as you went over the line. We try not to have a bias, but yeah, it was so good to see that after all the effort you put in as well. It's great. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Just John and Chaz, my teammates, really great. I mean, Ben talks slightly too much during the race and puts me off. So, to be fair, I asked him for tonight's event if he could just sort of calm down on the chatter too much, because I am a man and I cannot multitask, and I will forget to brake, as you discovered in our practice round.
Very true, yeah, very true. But I mean, it's good to have teammates around you, at least for the support as well, isn't it? I guess with things like this.
Yeah, and I think we can all be honest and say we're not the fastest of drivers, but what we are is we're extremely supportive of one another, and wherever we can sort of push one another on, we will. And me and John obviously try to push each other on or off the track as much as we can. But no, it's a great team, and that's why we sort of stick together. So it's really fun.
Well, as long as you're enjoying it, Lee, that's the main thing. Thank you very much again for jumping in tonight, and well done again on a fantastic evening, and we'll see you again soon.
Yeah, thanks, Chaz. I'll see you next week.
Cheers. Lee Berridge, as you can hear, Francois, absolutely over the moon with that one, and rightly so. What a night for him.
Yeah, that's something I do appreciate about Lee, that every time he gets a good finish, you really hear in his voice that he's genuinely happy about it.
Absolutely is. I don't know how happy Dan is about the fact that Discord right now shows him that he's playing FIFA 22. Get with the times, Dan. How are you, mate? You must be pretty chuffed after a night like that, because you nearly didn't even make it.
Yeah, I was pretty buzzing, to be honest. I told French Chaz that I got in halfway through the briefing to avoid a baguette over the back of the head. So yeah, I think I got about 4 laps of practice and then straight into qualifying. So
God,
I was quite amazed at just how different the car drove here compared to Misano. Obviously, it's my first time driving the Clio in anger, and you can't really drive it in anger. You have to be very gentle with it. Whereas here, you could actually get away with throwing it around a little bit more. I don't know if it was the different tarmac or whatever. But no, it meant for a really interesting balance of pushing and having that little bit of extra pace, or save the tyre and have it at the end.
Yeah, it certainly looked like there was a bit of a difference in the tyre at the end. It was something I was meaning to touch on in the race with the tyre life, because sure, it's only a 20-minute race. It's not quite half an hour or 25 minutes like you get in other formulas, but it's definitely long enough for the tyres to really start to go away, isn't it, in cars like this when you're pushing them this hard?
Especially with how close the racing is as well. Like, you really have to have a send, especially somewhere like this, to get past. And if you do that and mess it up, lock the tyres up, it takes you 4 or 5 corners to get the tyres cooled down and in the right groove again. But in that time, you've also got 15 Clios trying to get past you, so it becomes quite a challenge.
I was going to say.
I kind of verged on the side of caution and tried to use momentum and minimal steering lock, and I think I probably should have been a little bit more aggressive, especially with Lee early on, to have a good go at Stitch, because I think I pulled like a second in on him in 5 laps, and I'd love to have just had a straight shot at him, but I got greedy on that one.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be a good battle to the end if there was maybe 2 laps more in that race. But either way, some big championship points, mate. I can't remember if we asked you which rounds you're going to make this season, because I know that there's a few you might not be there for. But what about next week, at least at Donny?
I should be there next week. This week was one of the ones I thought I was missing, and I made it by 10 minutes, so I'm pretty happy with that. But yeah, I should be at Donny, and I've overheard you talking about it being wet, so I should probably try and do some form of practice for this one.
I think I might have to as well, with how tonight's broadcast has gone, to be honest with you. Either way, though, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Shout out to English Chaz and French Chaz for that broadcast. That's pretty good. And then just a shout out to Drew for existing, I suppose.
Yeah, he does do that quite well, doesn't he, our Drew? Bless him. Will you have a livery on it next week?
I was meant to have one this week, but I kind of forgot. Drew, if you're listening, that's the one thing you can do is get a livery. If not, I'm putting a Series 1 sticker on this as it is.
Nice.
It might be pixelated because Drew doesn't know how to send you a high quality PNG. But anyway,
Yeah. I need to tell you, when I saved the replay, I rewatched it just to check if the replay was like sound, and I was stuck on your car, and I was like, "Oh, the liveries are not in. I'm screwed." And then I realized, no, it's just your basic car, mate.
at least it looks better than last week's one.
It does. Yeah, I was meant to say that in the show, actually, that it does definitely look a lot better than last week. So, yeah, at least it's on brand a bit more. Either way,
Maybe
though...
I'll just have a different iRacing default every week and generic. What are the
pretend to
generic
be a bot.
NASCAR sponsors that they've now brought in?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. As long as it's not one I have to explain to everybody every single week. We'll have to see. Either way, thank you very much for jumping in, Dan. Well done on some solid championship points. And, well, we'll speak again soon. But obviously the people at home might hear you next week at Donny.
Cheers, guys.
Dan Macaulay there doing a wonderful job this week. And some big championship points for him, Francois, on a night where, well, he didn't even expect to be turning up at all. That's not bad going, is it?
Yeah, it is. I think he tries to be a bit humble, saying he only has like 3 or 4 laps of practice, but I think that's even worse for the rest of the grid because he smashed the competition tonight. Like, hey, look at me, I don't know the car, but I still finish on the podium 2 times.
Yeah, if there's anything
But
Dan
yeah,
isn't, it's
yeah.
humble.
Great lad, great driver, I think. Yeah, I'm excited for the rest of the season. Like we said before, we're still missing some quick drivers. Next week is going to be tricky, but hopefully we can have the whole grid with us next time around, and hopefully we'll deliver nothing less of a spectacle than the one we had tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's going to be a belter as we head to Donington Park. Thanks once again, everybody, for putting on such a great show yesterday evening. The drivers all did a wonderful job, and thank you to Francois in particular for handling the drivers' briefing, for sorting out the replay, making sure the night ran smoothly. I really do appreciate it, and for covering Dara in the commentary box here tonight. And we look forward to hopefully having Dara back next time. But Francois, thank you again. It's been an absolute joy and really good fun to watch. Thank you all the championship supporters and sponsors. We've got Fireback Glass on board. We've got Abruzzi on board as well. There'll be links in the description to those and their businesses. If I could speak English, it'd be great. That is going to be it from tonight, though, here at Okayama in the CDM Clio Cup. As you've heard, we'll be back in a week's time as we head to Donington, and we're going to head to some British weather as it's going to be mighty wet and wonderful. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in a week's time.